why
now,
don't we read it in another way, or from another perspective, which is Benjamin Netanyahu or Israel pushed Trump into this path?
that could be another option as well, because as we know, like the strategic cooperation, the strategic like understanding between the United States and Israel is not like depends on the Democrat or the Republican administration. It's like a long-standing cooperation between the United States and Israel, and the United States is committed to protect Israel, to defend itself. And I think what he's trying to do is to again to use the negotiation ploy and the negotiation tactics to serve what he wants really to do in the Middle East, and maybe this
That's
align
Benjamin
with what
Netanyahu, sirs, right?
for sure, yeah, for sure. Because right now, Benjamin Netanyahu is like under pressure from the Trump administration to continue with the ceasefire deal and to start the negotiation for phase two. And also, he has the domestic the pressure from his government, because they're saying if you are going to this continue with this ceasefire, we will resign, and then the government will collapse. So he's trying to balance this pressure from the domestic arena, and also from what's going on from the or what's coming from the Trump administration. So what we are seeing right now is like really huge, and the condemnation from all Arab countries, of course, are huge.
Not
But I
only
think
Arab countries, sir, but internationally as well.
yeah, for sure. The all the opposition, yeah, again from some of the European countries and or even from the Palestinians themselves are huge. And I don't think Trump can achieve his plan with all of this opposition unless like these Arab countries are like accept or can accept that. And I don't think this can be achieved in the foreseeable future, because again, like accepting, we're talking about Jordan and Egypt accepting Palestinian refugees to their countries, of course, first will destabilize their international or their national stability, and the second, of course, will diminish or demolish the Palestinian case, which is like a huge red line for both countries, and of course, a huge red line for the all the Arab coalition or the Arab Pact. And again,
Okay, sir.
what
You mentioned the ceasefire talks. You mentioned ceasefire when you in your answer now, sir. The ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas are already fragile. Does Trump's proposal complicate these negotiations further, which of course we read on the scene going on or going to take place soon?
It's unclear what implication that will have on the negotiation of the ceasefire, but of course it will affect that. But again, it's for Hamas' interest, and it's for Palestinians' interest to continue with this ceasefire, and also not giving any excuse to the Benjamin Netanyahu to go back to war and then start like or continue the genocide that he started like since October 8th, 2023. So what I'm trying to say, of course, this what happened last night between Benjamin Netanyahu and Trump, of course, like affect all of the ongoing ambitions from the United States under the Trump administration. First, to continue with the ceasefire, and second, to come back to the normalization relationship between the United States, the Saudi, and also the Israelis. It's huge part of the foreign policy for the Trump administration, or it's a huge part to achieve this normalization between Saudis and Israelis. Why? Because we are talking now about like almost $1 trillion investment from the Saudis, and they are this huge or this normalization between the United States, Israel, and the Saudi Arabia will be
Sir, in
huge.
light of Saudi Arabia's, of course, today's statements after Donald Trump's and Benjamin Netanyahu's press conference, Saudi Arabia made clear that Gaza will remain for the Palestinians and the Palestinian people. Do you think any normalization could take place at this point?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say, but because like the Saudis are like proposed like the two-state solution and put it as like as a negotiation condition just to start negotiation discussion with the Israelis and by support with the United States. But of course, what Trump said yesterday that the Saudis didn't mention the two-state solution in their discussion with him, which is I don't think this is true, because the Saudis stand
Okay.
in the
Sir, the international community, including key U.S. allies, has largely condemned this proposal. How could this impact U.S. foreign relations, sir?
The US foreign relations right now, it's like in a bad situation again, because he has like a very bad relationship with his neighbors, even the Canada, Mexico, and even the all Latin American countries. And also he has like started like a very bad page with the NATO and the European Union countries. So what he's trying to do is maybe he wants to go so fast without having any strategic plan to have like the foreign policy strategy, but while like his insistence and his ignorance of all like having good relationship with all of these countries will maybe affect him to just maybe take a step back of understanding what's going on, because what he's trying to do is now is affecting badly the US alliance in the Middle East and also in the European countries, and also will affect him domestically. What he's trying also to do in domestically is to, by reducing the size of the federal government by so much drastically, will affect his like his rate acceptance rate, because right now we are talking about 100 or maybe over 100,000 people are put on hold. They are like we're working with the federal government, and even too many foreign affairs or foreign programs have been also freezed by his signature. So I feel like all of these situations right now, in less than 2 weeks from taking office, will affect him badly, and we will see what's gonna happen in the next few months. But I think like by taking such strong drastically like measures in domestically and domestic and international arenas will affect him right now. But I don't think he has like a strategic plan or a strategic foreign policy. And as Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, said, the national interest is like the motivation for our administration. But the national interest as well is also requires the United States administration to have good relationship with the Middle Eastern countries such as Jordan and Egypt. And by putting such pressure on both countries, of course, will affect this strategic bilateral relationship between them.
Okay, sir, looking ahead, do you see Trump's vision for Gaza gaining traction, sir? Or is it likely to be dismissed as political narrative, sir?
I think because by proposing such an impossible plan with Gaza, I think he's trying to do, but like to just put pressure on the all allies and all of the regional players in the region, just to make sure that they will be ready or to come up with plans that could be achieved very soon, and maybe offer some concessions that was maybe seen very hard to offer. But right now, by giving them the maximum, I think that all regional countries, again, from his perspective, will maybe think about like offering some concessions right now. But again, by discussing and analyzing this situation right now, I feel like he's far from being honest, and he's far from being ready to do that. And even though he wants to do that, but I think he knows that it's very, very hard. That could be impossible to achieve that. But if he can achieve that, of course, would be good for him, good for his economy, good for his like agenda, and good for his vision. But of course, what he's trying to propose and what he's trying to deliver is impossible plan. And I think he knows that, but he says that even though just to make like to distract the attention from what's going on domestically, and also to put pressure, the maximum pressure again, to just give them to come up with ideas that could be achieved.